Hi everybody, Steve Come of the Amazing here, coming to you from an undisclosed shelter just after the election. I'm here to give you a review of Kenton's keys. This is Kenton Knepper's full collection of key bending material. It comes with 9 videos and a PDF. I have lost the PDF, no idea where it is. Now, Kenton's keys involves a few different routines. The first one, it starts off called Key Destruction. This is where you can see a preview video of this routine as well. This is where Kenton takes a key and just by rubbing the key with his finger, you see it start to get destroyed. You see it even start to split apart. He rubs it between 2 fingers and it gets even worse. And then he rubs the fob, perhaps, the big end of the key that you don't put into the door, and that also starts to get all banged up, and then you can see that the key is completely destroyed. This is also, it starts off with 2 keys. The spectator is able to choose either one, and then you destroy one of the remaining key. There's a couple of variations of this effect. Another one is called the Shaman Key Bend. This is where your spectator can bend their key, and it follows a similar sort of idea. Really cool plot, really cool premise for the key destruction, and it's one that I think could be very helpful for somebody in a stressful situation. You put your stress into the key and they see evidence that the stress could destroy the key. As well as that, there's another another routine called the 2-sign key bend. This is where 2 people look at the keys, they sign them, they sign it all over, they verify the keys are real, and then you decide, you ask which one of them is the more skeptical person, and the more skeptical person, you end up bending that person's key and then hand it out to them. And I've done that one, and you walk away and they're just floored. Like, it takes for the time that I did it, it took a while for them to really register it that, hey, I just checked this key out, it's now bent, and he's gone. What happened? Along with that, we have the open key bend, which is absolutely amazing. There's it's a very real key bend. He literally holds it like this. You're holding the key, you see the key bend and bend and bend. There's no movement, nothing funny going on. And then there's also a surprise second bend that happens to the key. Now, beyond that, we have Kenton's original key bend. This is the one that I perform the most often. So, I mean, you examine both keys, hold one of the keys at the fingertips, and it starts to bend. And the way that I perform that one and the way I've seen Kenton perform it, the spectator truly chooses that is the key we're going to use. They've both been examined, and you bend it right at the fingertips. Now, sounds fantastic. They all sound pretty great. I would think that you would find those to be fantastic. That is because they really are. I love this project. That's why I'm doing a review of it. This is something I've owned for a very long time, and I always have a couple of extra keys on my keychain to be able to perform one of these routines at a moment's notice. It's not something I do all the time, but it's one of the many different metal bending phenomenons that I tend to perform. So a couple of pros and cons to look at those. For one, you do get multiple routines, so you have a large variety of the different things that you could perform and the different ways that you could do this. Also, with as I've mentioned, with key destruction, it comes with multiple various ways of performing it. I would say burnt key would be a very magical way to perform it. I think that that would work for magicians. Shaman, very realistic, very helpful, perhaps, strangely enough, even anti-tada, even though, I mean, the key is becoming completely obliterated, but I think it's something that could be very helpful to somebody in a stressful situation, or just a nice premise. 2-sign key, I literally did that one on a moment's notice, had a friend throw me 2 of his keys, asked him which one he wanted me to bend as a souvenir. Instantly bent that one at my fingertips, handed it back to him. He literally has it on his keychain, still bent all the time. I've seen it a lot, and that was a couple of years ago, and it's still on his keychain. So a lot of great things going on in the project. Many of these are, let's say, instantly resettable. If you want, could be handing out the key as a souvenir, as I said, and obviously you don't have the key anymore, so it's not instantly reset. These are very spur of the moment. If you just bring a couple of keys with you that are useless, or if you borrow some keys that people have, it's nicer to bring your own because it's really hard to find somebody who's like, oh yeah, I guess I don't need my house key anymore. So it is something that you can get into just about any moment. It's very nice to have as to really solidify the fact that you can do amazing things at a moment's notice. There's no funny moves. This isn't the shaking and all that kind of stuff. This isn't anything. It's all very very straightforward, and sometimes the movement is this much. Sometimes it's just this. I mean, it's very very few moves. And the one you see on the video, Kenton's literally just rubbing it with his finger, rubbing it like that, and that's it. You're not seeing. There's nothing funny going on. The key doesn't suddenly go out of view or anything like that. Some cons, perhaps not every one of the routines are going to fit you. Not every one of the routines fit me. I don't perform all of them. I have performed each of them at some point, and some fit me better. But that's the nice thing, is that you have, he's not just teaching 2 key bends. He's teaching technically 4 key bends and then 2 variations of one of them. So you have a lot of different things that you can learn from this. So there's going to be something here for you if metal bending is your thing. That's my next con. This is more of a disclaimer. Bending is not for everyone. Not everybody's going to be able to pick up this project, and you'd be able to do it, but will you be able to do it convincingly? Will you be able to do it successfully based on the other routines you do? It's something that you're going to have to look into. It's something you're going to have to kind of already know. This is going to give you everything that you need, other than, I mean, it is going to give you everything you need, because Kenton makes sure to very much point the point home that he feels that bending is real, and that is what makes it real for him. I have the exact same feelings along those lines. Right now, the price is marked at $50, but it's actually marked down to $39.97. That comes down to technically $10 per routine, but again, you have multiple variations of the one, so it's really, we have 6 different routines that are presented here, as well as the additional PDF that has more of the psychology stuff that you can apply to a lot of your other suggestion-based routines as well. So $40 for, honestly for me, there's very seldomly a price that's too steep for metal bending. $40 for this many routines is a very good deal, a very good price. I started doing this review because somebody asked me what kind of material should they get into with Kenton. What would be a fun, practical thing to learn? If this is down your alley, this would be the thing I'd suggest. I also had somebody else ask me if I would do a review of this project in particular. And it's one that I very much enjoy. That is, again, why I'm doing the review. A few other things to look into after, if you do get this, a couple other projects to look into. I think that Kenton's second silverware bending book, I believe it was the second one, he goes into a lot of more physical psychology, we could say, that helps a lot of bends go, and I think that that's a very very helpful thing to pick up. Also, if you liked this, if you like the key bending, you would very much, I think, like Bent Scent, which, cheap plug, I was the one that recorded the new version of Bent Scent. I started to change my routine, and I started to get a better handling of it after seeing Kenton's keys and after seeing his second silverware bending release. But as I stated in my very original written review of this, don't get it. Don't do it. I want all of these to myself. There's enough variations to go around for everybody that's in this project, so it's not the worst thing in the world if you did buy it. I'd be okay. I could perform one of the other variations, but ultimately it's something I very much enjoy, and this is a review from the heart. Thank you guys so much. Of course, feel free to comment, send me a suggestion of another thing to review. That's where this one originated from, was from some of your suggestions, so thank you for that. And you can check me out at Facebook, facebook.com/Steve the Amazing. That is it, and goodbye.